Wednesday Night Talk. Today I'm very glad to receive Jnis Altmanis, who you already know on this channel. You don't know him, but you know his pedals, who are absolutely great. Thanks, Janis.
Thank you.
Welcome us in your very nice house here. Where is your workshop, where you make all these fantastic and crazy pedals? So I would like to know, how simply did you end up to create pedals? How did you get started? I suppose you are passionate in music, but what is the story behind your these pedals?
Story is that in 2009 I met one guitarist from band who made like distortion pedal from all kind of parts from Soviet time schematic, and I thought that it was really cool, and I couldn't, at the time when I played the pedals, I couldn't get out of the pedals that I wanted, sounds that I wanted. So I asked him maybe he could show how to make pedals and what is, because I didn't know anything about electronics at all.
Okay.
And he showed me how to build one, and the actual first one was a roll-on double beat fuzz, but without wah. I wanted only the fuzz sound, and I couldn't buy that pedal at the time in Latvia. So I found all kind of old parts from Radio Technica amps and tape recorders, and we made that pedal. That was the first pedal.
Okay, so to explain for people who don't know Latvia, Radio Technica is a local brand that has been famous since Soviet time, specialized in making amps and for hi-fi. And people at SonarWorks told me the same thing, that there used to be a lot of sound engineers, and there is a tradition of sound engineers in Latvia and in electronics. So you started without having any clue in more or less in electronics?
No, I didn't know what is resistor. I didn't know what is capacitor. Nothing.
And so did you train or something? You had this you had a practical approach to know step by step what is an amplification?
No.
No?
No, I just Googled what information was there to find, and that's all. In that the first, when I searched it in Google, there wasn't any schematics at all from like ZVAX or DOD or whatsoever. What pedals, because there was only like a Soviet time old overdrives, distortions, and that's it. And after a while I experimented with those schematics, and then I found in some USA forums that other guitarists make pedals too, and there was layouts and schematics, and then basically it all started from there.
And before that, what did you do? What was your primary education or your work?
I work in IT field, IT project management, information technologies.
Information. So you computing.
With computers. Yeah.
Computing. Okay. Yeah. So you are telling us about old Soviet times and Russian schematics. Again, some people might not know that there are a lot of old school components that from this time era that were in fact very good because they were used for the military. Do you have some components, new old stock components that you get from these times, or where the components of the pedal come? Because recently you talked about Germany and...
Well, I try not to use Soviet time electronic components because they are not really reliable. you need to test for a long time.
Okay.
So you know for 100% that it will work. But I usually use them for experiments, all kind of experiments for sound.
For example, what kind?
Well, fuses is the best place or you could try to make Big Muff with Soviet Russian transistors. It will sound incredible, but you can't usually replicate that sound very good. So that's why I usually try to find some new sound or some interesting no, well, basically some interesting sounding transistors, for example, and then I try to find analog version in new transistors.
So you say that you cannot replicate the sound. Why? Because it's too different from one component to another?
Uh, Basically, if transistor is if you make like Big Muff with solid transistors and you have like 100 of those transistors, you maybe could replicate 2 or 3 of those pedals with those 100 transistors. They all have different values and they sound pretty different.
Okay.
So it's a big mess. It's no use.
Okay. Same problem with tubes. You never made a pedal with integrated tubes because tubes are too different. You have to test them from one to another.
Yeah, but I made a few pedals with tubes too. One particular, I'm working now on a dual overdrive tube pedal.
Okay.
Still, it's like 3 years now or something like that.
So this is a forthcoming project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It was about to be my next question. How do you work on a pedal from schematics to final product that you deliver to us? How does it work? You have an idea in your mind. You try to get inspiration from a tradition of pedals. How does it start?
Basically, I have idea of sound that I would love to make, and then I try to think how to make that sound. For example, Miesniks drive I made because I played Telecaster, and for Telecaster, it's the sound is really thin. There's no meat to it. So I tried to make a drive with lot of tone control and with lot of like meat. How to say guitarists?
Yeah, because Miesniks, it's the butcher in Latvia.
Basically, I named that pedal Butcher because of that drive have really good headroom and beefy sound. So I had that idea and tried to make that pedal. That's all. But it's all through the experiments. It's like that schematic didn't work. I changed all the components and so because I didn't know about electronics at all at first.
But if I understand, so you take already existing schematics of some classical pedals and then you modify them, or
Well, basics is the same. Like a bass for all tube amps is the same. For drives, basically it's all the same. Uh, it's um, it's kind of what you put into those schematics and values.
okay.
How you in the end you make the sound with diodes or transistors or with op amps. For example, Miesniks is made with op amp because I couldn't get to that basically when you play guitar with Miesnieks, strings doesn't go mushy. The sound doesn't go mushy. You can hear independent strings, and I couldn't find that way of sound with transistors. So I used top amp, and it worked perfectly
Okay.
for that.
Okay. So yeah. So I see the kind of a goal you want to achieve. Okay. But does it not depend, in your opinion, also on the pickups of a guitar, more or less, or?
Yeah, it will be different with Les Paul pickups, of course, for example. But with Telecaster or single coils or like Stratocaster, it's not a problem.
But for example, for a project like Miesnieks, how many prototypes would you say you have made to achieve this? If you remember.
Many.
Many?
I don't know exactly how many, but those prototypes still sound somewhere in the world. There is Miesnieks without any like punched in names.
Okay.
So there are first PCBs somewhere. Guitars playing now.
Okay. So it's when you develop a pedal, it's many years of work
Yeah.
for one pedal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miesnieks, it was like 5 years of work, but it's for pedals I can work only on my free time. I can't wake up and do the job and go to sleep. It's like I have day job, and after that, in the evenings I can solder if I have power to do that.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Many of the viewers, I think, do music on their free time as well.
Yeah, of course.
It's so you have a very special pedal. It was the first one I tried, which is the RNGD. Can you tell us more about this project? Because this is the first time I saw this pedal. How do you come to make such a crazy pedal?
I found really crazy sounding transistors, which I use in RNGD, and I knew that I had a really crazy octave fuzz schematic. I don't know where I got that schematic. I really don't remember. I haven't seen anything like that at all. I a little bit tweaked that schematic to make it even more crazier, and in the end I thought, okay, how could I make it even more crazier? And I added the delay. But you can switch off or on that delay. Yeah, that basically it. But it wasn't like idea of who will want to play that, because it's really unpredictable and crazy pedal. It was more like I really loved it. I loved it how it sounded, and okay, if someone wants it, sure, why not?
So you create you more or less you don't have stock. It's when you create you make the pedals, and for one pedal, how much time do you need? I mean, not to make the prototypes. I already asked you this question, but to make one piece of pedal.
For Miesnieks, I usually make 5 pedals in one time. 5 enclosures, 5 PCBs, and then I put those 5 together in one time. Well, I think I could make 5 Miesnieks in one day.
Okay.
I think so. But I don't make a lot. It's like I make 5 and that's it. When I'm out of stock, I usually create new ones and so on. And example, if it's Miesnieks, I can take PCB and work with it from these parts. For example, that tube overdrive PCB is still in progress, but I have first made. I just need to test those and so on. Many prototypes of Miesnieks X. And yeah, basically that's it. For at the start, it's just a metal enclosure. After that, I make all the parts and all the names.
And how the enclosure is made? It's also pre-made somewhere with specifications?
No, it's standard enclosure without anything. I think I don't have any
Virgin ones?
No, I don't have anything because I usually don't. If I have no use for that enclosure, usually I don't order it. If I know that I will make 5 Miesnieks X, then I usually order 5 enclosures or 5 purfs or 5 RNGDs. So at the first I worked in the basement. Now I work in the staircase. It's a little bit improvement. Yeah, but last prototype for RNGD, this one I made, and here is not switch. I tested and found that I want to add a switch, so at the end I added up here.
Okay.
I found it really cool sounding glitch, so I added there. But without delay, RNGD is this one. This one is without delay that I made.
Okay, so
Yeah.
interesting.
And the first pedal, Roland Double Beat Fuzz. This is my first pedal that I made. That I tried all kind of paints and it doesn't stick very good.
Okay. Ultimate collector. So.
Yeah, I have a lot of other Miesnieks as well and all kind of ideas, but yeah, it's not all here because a lot of all other experiments and pedals are back in Birzgale in the first studio
Workshop. Do you have projects coming with new pedals? Can you tell us?
Yeah, dual overdrive with tubes. I'm working now on boost buffer that I'm really trying to finish up, and of course dual Miesnieks X that don't know how many layouts I made, but I got new layout and it still doesn't fit how I like it.
But buffer, it's not, it's inside a pedal, or it's a buffer for people who have true bypass pedals.
Basically, it's a booster.
Okay.
If you need a clean boost, and when you don't need a boost, you can switch to buffer. It will just be like standard buffer pedal.
That interests me. Okay.
I will send it to you.
Okay. No special delay. No, reverb. You already have one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's basically it's not mine. It's from Rob from England. He made that schematic and PCBs. I asked him if he would love to collaborate on that pedal.
Okay.
So it's not my idea, not my PCB, but all the other layout and all the pedal is mine.
What is PCB for people who
PCB
don't know?
is like a board where you put all the components in.
Okay.
So and
some sort
you
of
wire upon potentiometers and everything else.
And this part, I saw this on your Instagram. This is the kind of thing, if I remember my long time ago, my lectures in electronics, This is something that need to acid no to be built. This is something you do by yourself or you order it somewhere?
Now I order because all the first pedals and prototypes I made it myself.
Okay.
But it's a lot of work
To do this.
Yeah. So it's cheaper and easier. Also, you can make all kind of interesting colors and layouts, and it's just easier to make it in some factory.
You put Latvian words on all the pots to indicate. Why did you do this? To have a positive Latvian identity, or did it matters for you?
Oh, at the beginning, when I wanted to add names for pots, I wrote down the volume, tone, and drive, and I was like, looked at the pedal and like, there are thousands like that. So I decided to write it in Latvian, and then in one moment I tried all the kind of paints and stickers and all kind of things to add those names to the pedals because but all paints go off, and like Boss or Dunlop pedals, they are with years that color chips out. And I found that those steel punching letters, and I tried it, and I thought it will last forever, basically, in those enclosures. Yeah, but at first, when I made pedals and a few guitars from other countries wanted to buy, for example, Miesnieks, I send them information that I can punch in whatever language you want, because it doesn't mean that you need to play pedal with Latin names on the pedal. But no one agreed. Everybody wanted like original in Latvian.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically now it's a standard when volume is in corner to the left, right is a drive, and in the middle it's tone. Every pedal have that.
Yeah, and some very well-known makers of pedal, they put sometimes different words like
sure.
grind. Well, many examples. They don't make volume of gain necessary. Okay.
Yeah, but the difficult part was to name those, like volume. Okay, it's scalums. But drive, there's no drive word in Latvian. And well, it is, but it's not quite like drive. So it was an interesting process how to think the names for those knobs too.
My last question will be, this is for all the guests. As far as you can remember, what is your first memory connected to when you were a child, or connected to sound or music?
Good question. I think the place where I live in Birtgale, there was a festival, music band festival, and I always remembered that I saw the musicians, and I always thought to myself, yeah, I could play guitar in some concert too. And that was like that's why I started to play guitar, and I think from those festivals, I think those are my first memories of sound. I think that yeah, music is really cool.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much for everything, for receiving
You're
us. If you enjoy watching this content, please drop a like, subscribe, share on social networks, and we will see you there very soon.